Chapter 7, Brother, you killed all these swift mantises? Tsukuyoki saw no one except for the guy in golden armor. The dead mantises were still bleeding, so they couldn't have been dead for long. Tsukuyoki couldn't believe that someone was able to kill so many mantises in such a short amount of time. Although the swift mantis was only a primitive creature, considering the sharpness of its forelegs and its speed, even those who had maxed out on primitive geno points didn't dare to provoke it. After all, there were too many weak spots on human body, and no one wanted to risk losing his life or getting severely injured from a mantis cut. There were at least 3 dozen dead swift mantises on the ground. Even King Xuan would need some helping hands to achieve this. Tsukuyoki wouldn't believe that someone could have done it alone. Want some? 1,000 Livo dollars each. Han Sen was just considering what to do with the mantises. He was on a killing spree and forgot the fact that there was no way he could eat so much mantis meat. And even if he could eat them all, only the first few could gain him geno points. 1,000 each. Are you sure? Tsukuyoki looked at him, surprised. Although many people were able to hunt primitive creatures, they were in short supply, especially the ones that most people had never eaten, like swift mantis. After all, people's energy was limited, and there was a limit to how many geno points the meat from the same type of creature could offer. Only by eating the flesh of a variety of creatures could one keep collecting geno points. Those who were relatively well off would all be willing to pay for the creatures they hadn't eaten yet in order to be able to quickly max out on their primitive geno points. Therefore, the primitive creatures that were easy to kill could bring a few hundred each, while the ones that were difficult to hunt, such as the swift mantis, could sell for 2,000 or 3,000 each and still be in short supply. Tsukuyoki calculated and figured that he could double or triple the price if he could transport these mantis bodies back. Yes, 1,000 Livo dollars each. Han Sen nodded. It wasn't that Han Sen did not know what the mantises were worth. Without a car or other tools, there was simply no way he could move all these bodies back on his own. And if he left now, the bodies might be stolen when he returned. Moreover, Han Sen did not want to waste his time and energy on this. He had more important things to do, and he could take some loss of the profits. As the wholesaler, he had to leave some profit to the retailer. Sure, I'll take them all. How many are there? Tsukuyoki was on board. The swift mantises could bring him more than money. Primitive creatures like the swift mantis that ordinary people couldn't easily access would make great gifts. No one could refuse such a nice offer, as long as they hadn't maxed out on primitive geno points. A total of 43. I'll give you a discount and charge only 40,000. Han Sen was just casually asking and did not expect this ordinary-looking guy to be so rich that he could buy them all. Tsukuyoki took out his wallet and pulled out 10 $10,000 notes. Brother, I'll give you 50,000 for these mantises. The other 50,000 is a down payment for whatever good stuff you may have in the future. I'll always give you a good price and would pay even higher for mutant creature flesh. 100,000 was a small amount for Tsukuyoki. It would even cost him as much to buy someone a fancy dinner. This person was so badass that he killed all these mantises on his own, so it was highly likely that he could hunt mutant creatures too. If it was possible to purchase mutant creature flesh from him, a few 100 million was nothing. Couldn't tell you were rich. Han Sen took the money and said bluntly, looking at Tsukuyoki slightly surprised. In all honesty, money is all I have. If you have mutant creature flesh to sell, do let me know. The price is definitely not a problem, Tsukuyoki boasted, afraid that he might lose this great opportunity. Great. What's your name and address? I will come and find you if I have something. Han Sen appreciated Tsukuyoki's generosity, and thought he might be an ideal buyer for the mutant creature he planned to produce using the black crystal. After all, the black crystal had to remain a secret. Selling the creature to one person was much better than selling it in the market in front of everyone. And he didn't even need to worry about the price since Tsukuyoki was incredibly rich. Brother, my name is Tsukuyoki, and that's my real name. My room number at Steel Armor Shelter is 1046. How about you? What's your name and where do you live? Tsukuyoki said. That's the only thing I care about. Prepare some money. and I'll go to room 1046 once I have something. Hansen put the money into his pocket, waved goodbye to Xiaoqiao and left Zephyr Valley. Having been through his father's death, Hansen did not want to have too many exchanges with others. He just wanted to take care of his mother and sister and do his own thing. Other people or things didn't really affect him. Brother, I'll wait for you. You must come. Remember, the price is definitely not a problem. Su Xiaoqiao shouted at the back of Hansen while waving his hand. After Hansen left, Su Xiaoqiao couldn't help but call out, "How could I get these back?" Su Xiaoqiao thought for a while and decided to carry some back in a bag and ask some friends to help him carry the rest. Fortunately, there were almost no humans in Zephyr Valley. When Su Xiaoqiao came back with friends, all the bodies were still there. Xiaoqiao, is it true that Dollar killed all these swift mantises? Su Xiaoqiao's friends looked wide-eyed at the pile of mantis bodies. Of course, although I did not see him hunting, there was no one else in Zephyr Valley at the time and the mantises had just died. Who else could it be? Su Xiaoqiao said. I think it must be a gang of people that killed these swift mantises, and others must have left him to deal with the bodies. I don't believe one person could kill so many mantises. He must be bragging. He was definitely bragging. None of Su Xiaoqiao's friends believed Hansen killed the swift mantises alone.